Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to this live session of GST Marathon. कैसे हैं आप सब लोग? Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Zainab Khan, Harshad Mehta, Saket Roy, Abhishek, Kirti Batra, Chirag Khemani, Kavya Verma, Tanmay Sharma. Good evening, everyone. Sai Vamshi, and welcome to this live session of GST Marathon. And yes, we are going to cover the entire syllabus of GST, and we are going to make sure that we get amazing score in our GST examination in the forthcoming exam of CMA. Yes, guys, good evening. Uday Sahu, Radhe Radhe, Lavanya, good evening. Soumyala, Shiva Kumar, Kalyan Dukare, good evening. Rajalakshmi, good evening. Good evening, everyone. And yes, welcome to this live test series session. Live marathon session. And why I said test series, guys, test series session is also going on. If you want to make best use of test series session, please join the WhatsApp group, and test series session is available absolutely for free for all of you to prepare well for your examination, because yes, giving test will test the waters in which you are, because now we need not be with our weaknesses. We need to convert our weaknesses into strengths, and only when you know your weaknesses, you'll be able to convert them into strengths. So it's pivotal, it's crucial, it's very important to understand and to appreciate your weaknesses, and only by giving test you'll be appreciating your weakness. Good evening, good evening. Yes, Soumyo, Das, Didi, Mansi, Hans Jain, good evening. Nikhil Gupta, good evening. Test ले लेकर आदत हो गई. So yes, hello. So yes, guys, in the last lecture we had seen the basic concepts of GST. We had covered the basic concepts of GST. What is the nature of GST? Why is GST so relevant? Where is it coming from? What is the past history of GST? We have covered all these topics in our earlier lecture, in our last lecture, which is basic concepts of GST. So what is there in today's lecture, guys? In today's lecture, we are going to navigate through the most important sections of GST. How is GST levied? We are going to start with the charging section of GST. What is the charging section of GST? What is the section which guides us through whom should we levy GST on, etc. So today's session is absolutely very important, and this chapter is also very important, guys. Levy and collection of GST. The name of the chapter is Levy and collection of GST, one of the most important chapters of your syllabus. And yes, guys, in examination, this chapter is definitely going to come from a practical as well as theoretical standpoint for, say, about 10 marks, 8 to 10 marks for sure. This chapter is going to come. So let's start our new chapter today, which is levy and collection of GST, the charging section of GST, the section on which the GST, the entire plethora, the entire pattern of GST is based. It is based on this particular chapter, which is levy and collection of GST. So now the question is, sir, what do you mean by charging section? Guys, in any statute, especially in the taxation statute, to charge a person with any tax, to levy tax on a person, you need to first create a charge. You need to tell the person under what circumstances will he be taxed, will he be subject to tax. So which is that section which creates charge on the assessee to pay tax? That section is known as the charging section. The aim of the charging section is to tell the assessee, is to tell the taxpayer, hey, look, taxpayer, you have done 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Now you need to pay taxes. So what are those things which, if you do as a businessman, as an individual, as a company, what are the things that if you do those things, then you will be eligible to pay GST? That is known as the charging section. And what is the charging section under our GST Act? It is Section 9 of the GST Act. So we are going to start today Section 9 of the GST Act. Please mark very important against this section, because this section is definitely the most important section of your syllabus. This will tell us on which cases is GST levied, on whom, what are the people on whom GST is levied, etc. This is the charging section of GST. This is the section through which GST is levied on people. Section 9, the charging section of GST, levy and collection of taxes. So guys, if you are ready, please comment in the chat box. How's the Josh, guys? Yes, let me know. How's the Josh? Rehan Musharraf says, Sir, DT ki bhi marathon kab loge? Rehan, DT marathon is already there on the channel. Please go on the channel and see it. Kirti Batra, 9 section. Yes, Kirti Batra. Janab Khan, how to join test series group 9643 is the number. You can join it. Mr. Pediwal is there, back on the chat box. Yes, Mr. Pediwal says, hi, sir. Hi. Yes, absolutely hi. Sakshi Singh says, hi. Akhil says, aag laga di, aag laga di, aag laga di. Extremely high. Chirag says, Janab says, never low. Kirti Batar says, super high. Hi, sir, as always. Sai says, Harshad, hi. Kalyani, hi. Soumyala, hi. Brilliant, brilliant, guys. Yes, that is the spirit. Jyotika says, very, 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 very high. Not less than yesterday's energy, sir. It's 10,000 times better than yesterday. Yes, absolutely, guys. That is the spirit. Please mark, very, very important on this section. This section, not only from CMA intermediate standpoint, but also from CMA final standpoint, one of the most important sections of your syllabus, the charging section of GST, which is section 9. So section 9 has 5 subsections to it. Section 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, 9.4, and 9.5. All the sections are very, very important from an exam standpoint. Both theoretical and practical questions are going to come from this particular section. So very, very important section for all of you. All right. So today we will start with the first section, the first subsection of section 9. The first subsection of section 9 is forward charge. This is the normal section whereby GST is levied. Why is the word forward charge used? This I will be able to explain more when I'll be teaching you the reverse charge. As of now, just ignore the terminology. What is forward charge? Don't go into it. Just understand that section 9 is the charging section of GST. And yes, 9.1 is the most obvious, is the most so to say most used section of GST is section 9.1. It is most used section of GST, and most of the supplies are categorized under supply or are charged to GST under section 9.1 itself. So section 9 is the charging section, and 9.1 is the section on forward charge. Now let's see what is the constituents of section 9.1. So guys, we are going to start section 9.1 first of all, and yes, very, very important. All right, so section 9.1, forward charge. We are going to study 3 things in section 9.1. Number 1, levy. Levy means who is going to pay the GST, under what circumstances will the GST be levied, will be payable by a person, what that person will do to pay GST, what is the tax rate at which GST is levied. All these questions will be solved by levy. So first thing that we are going to study in this particular section is a levy. How to charge someone for GST. How to tell someone, hey, hey, look, hello, hello, hi, hey, 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 you have to pay GST. Under what circumstance can we tell someone that you have to pay GST? That will be told to us by levy. Second thing is collection. Collection means how to pay GST to Government of India. How would Government of India ensure that everyone pays GST, the GST which was determined by levy, how that is transferred to government exchequer, government department. That is the element which we are going to study in the collection section. Then taxable person. What do you mean by taxable person? Who is that person? Who is the person who if eligible under levy will be required to pay the taxes? So these 3 elements we are going to study in the first subsection, section 9.1, forward charge mechanism. All right, so the first element is to create a charge, then to determine the rate, and then to apply the rate on the value. So first thing is charge. Now please understand what is charge. Charge means on what goods and services GST will be levied. And when will GST levied? Charge means on which goods and services or on which transaction will the GST be levied. कौन से goods and services पर GST लगता है और ये कब लगता है? कौन से गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज पर जीएसटी लगता है और ये कब लगता है? That is a question that we are going to see in this particular charge. So charge means GST will be applied on what goods, on what kind of services which will GST apply, how will GST be applied? So this is the first question, charge. Charge means when will GST be applicable? What is the thing that you do if GST will be applicable? So GST, first element is charge. Second element is value. On what value will the GST be payable? Will it be payable on the MRP or will it be payable on the transaction value? What is that value on which the GST will be payable? And finally, what is the rate at which GST is payable? Because rate multiplied by value will give you the GST amount. Rate multiplied by value will give you the GST amount. So first is the charge. On what thing should the GST be paid? Number two is the value, and third one is the rate. These are the three things which are most important thing that we are going to study. Now, in today's lecture, we are entirely going to focus on supply. Supply is the taxable event on which GST is charged. When is GST charged? When any goods or services are supplied. So supply is the taxable event on which GST is leviable, on which GST is charged. The most important word of your entire syllabus, supply. So whenever supply happens, GST will be charged. That is the bottom line. That is the demarcation which we need to understand. Whenever supply is made, GST is charged. Now, the entire focus of today's lecture will be, sir, what do you mean by supply? What do you mean by supply? And the definition of supply will be given by section 7 and section 8, which we are going to dedicate our entire lecture today on these two sections. But before we come on to these two sections, I need to introduce you to two kinds of supplies. There are two kinds of supplies, okay? Interstate supply and intrastate supply. Interstate supply and intrastate supply. These are the two kinds of supply which we are going to deal with our session today. In our session, we are going to deal with these two kind of supplies: interstate supply and intrastate supply. All right. Now, guys, do you remember school time? During your school time, there were intra-school matches, intra-school matches, and inter-school matches. What was the difference? Difference was, so suppose I was in a school called Happy School. Okay, my name of the school is Happy School, and yes, you can say that. That's why I remain so happy all the time. My school name was Happy School. Now, Happy School had 4 houses: Tagore House, Tilak House, Sapru House, Kabir House. So the entire school was divided into 4 houses. Okay, what are the 4 houses? 4 houses are Tagore House, Tilak House, Sapru House, and Kabir House. Okay, so these are the 4 houses. These students are so badmash. They would stop discussing the concept and they would start making fun of my Happy School. Huh? Very, very good. So guys, intra-school means whenever a match used to happen between the houses. This is known as intra-school match. Intra-school match. Whenever Tagore House used to compete with Tilak House used to compete with Sapru House, this is an intra-school match. And guys, we had a competitor school, which was Ramjas School. Then we had Vardhaman School. Okay, these were the competitor school. So whenever match used to happen between schools, we used to term it as inter-school. Okay, this is inter-school and this is intra-school. I'm just trying to differentiate between this word before going on to the supply concept. I just want to differentiate between this word. Intra. Intra means within the same school, different houses are there. Inter means there are different schools and all those different schools have got different locations and different setup. And whenever match happens between different schools, then it is known as inter-school. Similarly, guys, we have two words over here: interstate and intra-state. Supply means to sell goods or to supply goods. That is known as supply. Okay. So interstate supply. So whenever goods are transferred from Punjab to Delhi, whenever goods are transferred from Jaipur to Madhya Pradesh, whenever goods are transferred from Assam to West Bengal, whenever supply happens between two states, it is always known as interstate supply. It is always known as interstate supply. And whenever supply happens within the same state, which means Delhi to Delhi, West Bengal to West Bengal, Assam to Assam, Punjab to Punjab, whenever supply happens within the same state, then it is said as intrastate. Interstate. So intrastate is when within same state supply happens. So from Lakshmi Nagar, Delhi to Connaught Place, Delhi, the consignment is going. Then it is intrastate whenever within Delhi the consignment is moving. So from Mehrauli, consignment is moved to Shalimar Bagh within Delhi. It is intrastate sale. And what is interstate sale? Whenever two states are involved, like Jaipur, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Delhi, Haryana, Gujarat, this is interstate sale. So, sir, please tell us, why are you differentiating between these two elements, these two supplies, guys? Interstate sale, intrastate. Sir, why intrastate and interstate supply? Why are you making a differentiation between these two things? Guys, the reason is that in case of interstate supply, IGST is levied, and the full form of IGST is Integrated Goods and Services Tax. In case of interstate supply, IGST is levied, and the full form of IGST is Integrated Goods and Services Tax. And in case of intrastate supply, guys, CGST and SGST or UTGST is levied. Okay. So in case of intrastate supply, CGST plus SGST or UTGST is levied. Now the difference is that, over here, two taxes are levied. Over there, only one tax is levied. Sir, do you mean to say that over here, double tax will be recovered from the taxpayers? Answer is no. Double tax will not be declared from the taxpayers. So now, CP to Lakshmi Nagar, Nalayak. Zainab says Daryaganj to Lakshmi Nagar. Yes, it is intrastate supply. Mr. Pediwal says Shalimar Bagh. What is so special in Shalimar Bagh, Mr. Pediwal? Tell me. Okay. Okay. So the question is that in case of intrastate sale, double tax is levied. 2 times tax is levied. Answer is no. So suppose the IGST rate is 18% in case of IGST, then in case of CGST and SGST, 9% will be split between CGST and SGST. The tax rate remains absolutely the same. There is no difference in the tax rates. It is just that tax rate is split into two parts, equal halves, when it comes to CGST and SGST or UTGST. So whenever Union Territory is considered, then UTGST is levied. Whenever the goods are being transferred to SGST state, then SGST is levied. That is the two options which are available, SGST and UTGST. It will be split into two parts, 9%, 9% and 18%. So these are the two types of supply which are there in the broad categorization of supply. Two types of supply: intrastate supply and interstate supply. Interstate supply means when the goods are transferred from one state to another state, then it is interstate supply. Intrastate supply means when the goods are transferred from within the state, then intrastate sale is eligible or is applied. Okay. Okay, if you got the answer, then please write in the chat box. Yes, sir. If you got the concept right, please write in the chat box. Yes, sir. Please write yes in the chat box if you understood the concept well. Yes, sir. Please write in the chat box. Yes, sir. Yes, 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 yes. Everyone says yes. बहू सास की लड़ाई सुलझाने का तरीका है CGST, SGST. Good example by Zainab Khan. Did you understand the concept? Type yes in the chat box. Yes, 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 we understood the concept. Mr. Periwal says, nice people. Oh. Yes, sir, आपने पढ़ाया है, कुछ ना समझ आए, ये कैसे हो सकता है? वाह, वाह, वाह. आज तो डायलॉग पे डायलॉग पढ़ रहा है भाई. वाह, जबरदस्त. जनाब, कितनी बार पढ़ेगी? All right, yes, okay. So guys, now please understand this situation very, very well. Goods are being transferred from Mr. A to Mr. B. Goods are being supplied from Mr. A to Mr. B. Mr. A is located in Delhi. Mr. B is located in Haryana. What is the location of the supplier? Please write in the chat box. What is the location of the supplier? Please write in the chat box. Location of supplier. Please write in the chat box. What is the location of the supplier? Location of the supplier is Delhi. Very good. Perfect. Delhi, 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 Delhi. Yes, good. Amazing. Zainab is offering petrol. Zainab, offer petrol after 1 hour. Okay. Right now, the energies are full. After 1 hour, energies will be down. Then offer me petrol and I'll be full with energy which is supplied by you. Yes. Okay, Delhi, Delhi. Location of supplier is Delhi. What is location of the recipient? Please write in the chat box. LOR. What is the location of the recipient? Please write in the chat box. LOR. What is LOR? Please write in the chat box. What is LOR? Location of the recipient. Yes, Haryana. Perfect. Perfect. Haryana. Location of the recipient is Haryana. Now let's see who remembers the concept well, because we have discussed this concept a lot of times in the class. Okay. Please tell me whether this is an interstate supply or an intrastate supply. Question is whether it is an interstate supply or intrastate supply. Option 1, interstate supply. Option 2, intrastate supply. Option 3, can't say, sir. We are not able to understand what I'm trying to hint on. 3 options are there. Guys, 3 options are there. You need to tell whether this is an interstate supply, whether it is an intrastate supply, or whether you can't say. Option 1, option 2, or option 3, you need to choose one of the 3 options. Mansi Sonavane says interstate. Oh, Zainab Khan, Zainab Khan, Zainab Khan, Harshad Mehta. Brilliant answer, beautiful answer by Harshad Mehta and Zainab Khan. Tanmay Sharma, चौथा तो ऑप्शन ही नहीं है, नालायक. चौथा कहां से ले आए तुम? चौथा तो मैंने ऑप्शन ही नहीं दिया. वो कह रहे चौथा ऑप्शन, नालायक. Sanskari, Sankari says option 1. Kavita says option 1. Rajveer says option 1. Akhil says option 1. Kaju Singh, Kaju Maju Singh, Kaju Maju Singh. Jatin Verma, very good answer. Brilliant. Aki Parik, Manvi, Himani. Himani's got the right answer again. Okay. Guys, the right answer is can't say. I have not given you the information so that you can determine whether it is interstate supply or intrastate supply. But sir, you have given the location of the supplier, which is Delhi. You've also given the location of the recipient, which is Haryana. Sir, what is the doubt now? Why can't we determine what is the nature of supply, whether it is interstate supply or intrastate supply? Sir, why can't we determine? It's so easy. Sir, it is moving from one state to another state. It has to be interstate supply. No, no, no. Not at all. Not at all. I'll give you an example, okay? Guys, I want to purchase furniture, okay? I stay in Delhi. I want to purchase a furniture, any kind of furniture, specialized wooden furniture. And I know that this wooden furniture is, the streets of Rajasthan have got amazing furniture, okay? I'm from Delhi. Streets of Rajasthan or the showrooms of Rajasthan are filled with furniture which I want. So I go to Rajasthan. There is a place in Rajasthan called Sri Ganganagar, and there's a place called Gadsinghpur. Okay, these are very remote towns, but the quality of products which are there in that place of Rajasthan, Sardar Sheher, okay, the quality of products which are there in such areas is superb. So guys, from Delhi, I go to those areas and I buy furniture from those areas. Now, please understand this fact, okay? Location of the recipient is irrelevant while determining the category of supply. Location of recipient is irrelevant while determining the category of supply. Now, guys, that furniture owner will not ask me, sir, where are you from? Are you from Delhi? So he will write Delhi and he will say interstate supply. No, 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 no. Location of recipient is irrelevant while determining the nature of supply. Then, sir, what is relevant? The relevant factor is place of supply. So, which is that place? Which is that place which is very, very relevant? What is the place of supply? Which is that place where the product has been sold? So, I went to Gadsinghpur, okay? And in Gadsinghpur, I purchased some products. So, guys, the shopkeeper doesn't know where am I from, but he's selling me the goods at Gadsinghpur, which is in Rajasthan. So, the place of supply is Rajasthan. And where is the location of supplier? Location of supplier is also Rajasthan. What is the location of recipient? I am the recipient. Okay. My location is Delhi. Irrelevant. Forget about where have I come from. It is not relevant while determining intrastate supply. So what is the relevant factor in determining inter and intra-state supply? The relevant factor is location of supplier and the place of supply. These are the two relevant factors which will make you determine what is the category of supply, whether it is interstate supply or intrastate supply. Guys, location of recipient is irrelevant. Wherever the recipient is from, it is absolutely none of my concern. What will I see? What is the place of supply? What is the exact location where the supply has happened? Is it Delhi or is it Rajasthan? If it is Rajasthan, then guys, location of recipient, location of supplier and place of supply. If it is Rajasthan, then it will be intrastate supply. Now I'll give you another example, okay? Guys, instead of going to Rajasthan, I pick up the call, okay? And tell that shopkeeper from Gadsinghpur that, sir, I need this product. You please send these products to me at Delhi. Okay. You please get them delivered to Delhi. Now, guys, the place of supply becomes Delhi. Now the place of supply becomes Delhi because the material is being delivered to the recipient in Delhi. So the place of supply becomes Delhi. Now the location of supplier is Rajasthan. Place of supply is Delhi. This will be called as interstate supply. This will be called as interstate supply. Goods are moving from one state to another state. This will be called as interstate supply. And this is why location of the recipient is absolutely irrelevant while considering the nature of supply. So if you understood this concept, please write a yes in the chat box. If you understood the concept, please write a yes. Kaju Singh is saying, sir, what if supplier makes goods in Delhi, then take it to Rajasthan, then he sells it to the recipient? Supplier make goods in Delhi and then takes to Rajasthan. Yes, so the location of the supplier is Delhi and the place of supply is Rajasthan, so it is interstate sale. Answer of Kaju Singh's question. Okay. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Shopkeeper खुद आकर deliver करेगा दिल्ली आपके लिए तो. Please take one more example. Yes, I'll give you many more examples, guys. Not one more example. I'll give you many more examples because this is an important concept. So you need to actually understand this concept well. Okay. So I'll take many more examples, guys. I'll make a chart. Okay. You need to tell me the answer. Okay, so I'll give you some permutation and combination to tell me whether it is an interstate supply, intrastate supply, or which GST will be levied in it. Okay. Okay. So here I'm giving you location of the supplier. Here I'm giving you location of the recipient. Here I'm giving you place of supply. You need to tell me the category of supply, which means is it interstate or is it intrastate? You need to tell me that. And then finally, you need to tell me what kind of GST will be applicable in this case. Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. Location of the supplier, Delhi. Location of the recipient, Haryana. Place of supply, Haryana. Option, point number 1. Okay. Number 2. Place of supply, Delhi. Location of recipient, Haryana. Location of supplier, Delhi. Question number A part, then B part. Now C part. C part. Location of the supplier, Pondicherry. Location of the recipient, Chennai. Place of supply, Pondicherry. Next, location of the recipient, Pondicherry. Location of the recipient, Chennai. Place of supply, Chennai. So guys, please tell me, we'll discuss part by part, okay? A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. We'll discuss part by part, okay? Part by part. No, first of all, A. Location of supplier, Delhi. Location of recipient, Haryana. Location of supplier, Delhi. Location of recipient, Haryana. Interstate supply or intrastate supply? Sir, location of recipient is irrelevant. I'm going to cross it out. I will just say the location of supplier and the place of supply. So the Delhi supplier has delivered the goods in Haryana. The Delhi supplier has delivered the goods in Haryana. So the place of supply is different state, location of supplier is different state, hence it is interstate supply. What kind of GST will be levied in it? IGST will be levied in it. IGST will be levied in it. Perfect. Please comment in the comment section if you have understood the concept. Say a yes if you have understood the concept, and yes, do hit a like button on the stream, guys. Goes unsaid. Let me see how many likes are there in the stream currently. Okay, I'll check it afterwards. I'll check it afterwards. Okay, part number 2, part B. Please write your answer for part B. Yes, everyone says yes, 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 yes. Superb. Part B. Delhi. Location of supplier, Delhi. Location of recipient, Haryana. Location of recipient, Haryana. I am crossing the location of recipient. Doesn't make any difference on my determination. Place of supply, Delhi. Where is it being supplied? Delhi, which means Haryana person has come to Delhi to pick up the goods. Haryana person has come to Delhi to pick up the goods. Okay. So location of supply, Delhi. Place of supply, Delhi. What is it? It is intra-state supply. What will be levied? CGST plus SGST will be levied. CGST plus SGST will be levied. Perfect. Perfect answer by Chaitra, Mansi, Himani. Perfect answer. Karishma Shao, Akhil Gupta. Perfect answer. Vanshi Khushani. Amazing answer. पॉइंट वाला भी खेलो कभी अच्छा ओके बट पॉइंट वाले में ना आप चीटिंग करते हो मुझे बस ये टेंशन है जब भी मैं पॉइंट देना शुरू करूंगा ना यू विल चीट अ लॉट even when it will be my point you will say it is your point you have been doing it in my regular class you will do over here also huh no 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 Delhi even when Delhi is a union territory still it has got its own legislature therefore Delhi is categorized as a state while we are talking about GST so it is not UTGST, it is SGST in case of Delhi. Okay. All right. Next, Pondicherry, location of supplier, location of recipient, irrelevant, which is Chennai. Point of supply, place of supply, place where supply happens is Pondicherry. So location of supplier, Pondicherry. Place of supply, Pondicherry. Both are in the same place. What is it? It is, sir, intra-state supply. It is intra-state supply. And this time CGST and UTGST because Pondicherry is union territory. Pondicherry is union territory. Yes, did you understand, guys? Yes, sir, we understood. Please write a yes in the comment section if you understood the entire concept. And where is Mr. Pediwal? Mr. Pediwal, did you understand the concept well? Okay, next. Pondicherry, location of supplier. Location of supplier, Pondicherry. Location of recipient, Chennai, not relevant to us. But where is the material transferred? It is transferred in Chennai. So this is interstate supply. This is interstate supply. If it is interstate supply, then what will be applicable? IGST will be applicable. IGST will be applicable. Yes, yes. And Ujjal says, yes. Kaju Singh says, sir, जैसा ओला वाले है उनकी तो प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई फिक्स नहीं है कभी दिल्ली तो कभी तो इस केस में कैसे डिटरमाइन करेंगे और फिर प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई कब कंसीडर करेगा जहां से पैसेंजर को पिक किया Kaju, this question will be answered in the chapter place of supply. We will know how to determine place of supply in the chapter place of supply. Don't worry about that. Right now, just focus on this concept that when place of supply is given to you, LOR is given to you, you will find LOS is given to you, you will find the category of supply. Yes, sir. Last, Chennai is location of supplier. Location of recipient is also Chennai. Place of supply is also Chennai. Of course, this is irrelevant. Chennai is one and the same thing. And therefore, guys, it is intra-state supply. It is intra-state supply. Within same state, the supply is happening. Therefore, it is intra-state supply. And if it is intra-state supply, CGST and SGST will be levied. CGST and SGST will be levied. So yes, you understood a very, very complex topic just now. So congratulations, guys. Let us come on to our book and let us see the definition of intrastate supply and interstate supply. Okay. So this is the definition of intrastate supply. Supply of goods and services where location of supplier, which is LOS, and the place of supply, which is POS of the goods are in the same state or same union territory. So the location of supplier, which is LOS, and place of supply, which is POS, if they are located in the same state or same union territory, it will be termed as intra-state supply. Now, both of them should be in the same state or same union territory, then it will be termed as intra-state supply. Guys, let's write once again. Location of recipient is irrelevant. Location of recipient is irrelevant. Let us write this point over here because it's a very, 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 very important point. Now, there are certain exceptions to this rule, okay? The certain exceptions about intra and interstate supply. Let us read those exceptions because they are very, very important. The following supply of goods and services shall not be treated as intra-state supply. The following supply of goods and services shall not be treated as intra-state supply. Let us see what are these exceptions. Supply of goods and services to or by a special economic zone developer or a special economic zone unit. All right, very, very important exception, guys. Let us see what is this exception. So guys, this is a state, maybe say Haryana, okay? This is the state of Haryana, okay? Now, government has got several plans to uplift the economy of a particular area. So guys, Haryana has got an area by the name of Manesar. There's an area called Manesar in Haryana, which is nearby Gurgaon. And this particular area is not developed at all. I mean, there are no industries in it. There are no infrastructure in it. There are no roads in it. There are no electricity in it. This area is absolutely abandoned area and no one wants to establish its factory over here. No one wants to do business over here. But Government of India sees this land as a very potential land whereby all the infrastructure can be developed if the industry contributes in the development of this particular area. Now, government is thinking how to motivate industry, how to motivate companies to contribute in this area. So what government does is, government would declare this area as special economic zone. What happens when an area is declared as special economic zone? Guys, huge tax incentives are given to the people who are working their businesses, their firms, their companies in this area. If you have your business in this area, if you have your company in this area, then guys, there is a huge discount which is given to you in terms of taxes. You have to pay only 50% of your taxes, or sometimes even 100% of the taxes are exempt. Sometimes even 100% of the taxes are exempt in these areas. What are these areas? These areas are SEZ, special economic zones. Manesar is a special economic zone. So although Manesar is a part of Haryana, but government treats it as a separate part. Why government treats it as a separate part? Because in the rest of the Haryana, there is a different law. And for Manesar, there is separate law. Law is different. If you earn income in rest of Haryana, then you have to pay full tax. And if you are doing your business in special economic zone, that you have to pay only 50% of the tax. So this area, this special economic zone, is actually not categorized as Haryana. It's a separate area altogether. Considering this fact that SEZ is a separate area, and SEZ is actually not governed by the rules and regulation which the state is covered. Considering this fact, if you supply any material from Haryana to this place, or any material supplied from Manesar to Haryana, where the location of supplier is Haryana and place of supply is Manesar, or location of supplier is Manesar and place of supply is Haryana, whenever this happens, guys, it is termed as interstate sale. It is termed as interstate sale. I will assume that the material is moving from one state to another state. So SEZs are considered as a separate state, because there the law which is applicable is absolutely different from the law which is applicable in rest of the part of the state. So it is completely considered as a separate state. So any goods moving from SEZ to the normal area, or from the normal area to SEZ, this movement will be termed as interstate sale, despite of the fact that Haryana also contains Manesar. Manesar comes in Haryana also, but in eyes of law, in eyes of GST, Manesar is not located in Haryana. It's a separate state altogether. Therefore, the movement between Haryana and Manesar is termed as interstate sale. Interstate sale. Let's read the provision once. It says that the following supply of goods and services shall not be treated as intra-state, which means it shall be treated as interstate. What are the categories? Number one, supply of goods and services to or by a special economic zone developer or a special economic zone unit. It is considered as interstate supply. It is not considered as intrastate supply. It is considered as interstate supply. Secondly, supplies made to a tourist referred to in section 15. So suppose, in India, many tourists come, from various parts of the country to visit Lal Killa, Lal Killa, Taj Mahal, this is how they pronounce Taj Mahal, Qutub Minar. These are the areas where tourists come and visit in Delhi, in Agra, and in various parts of the country. Okay, so tourist comes to Lal Killa, and there is a shop in Lal Killa, a perfume shop. Actually, perfume are known as itr. There's a itr shop, okay, and the itr will cost somewhere around, say, 120 rupees, okay, but the shopkeeper will try to befool this foreigner, and the shopkeeper will tell them, oh, Raja Shah Jahan used this perfume for all his begums in India, and this perfume is not sold to any common person in India. Shah Jahan himself invented this perfume, and due to Shah Jahan inventing this perfume, the Royal Palace of Jaipur also takes this perfume from me only. This perfume will cost you only 12,000 rupees. And this is a fraud which is happening with the foreigners. Foreigners become very happy. Oh, wow, we are using perfume of Shah Jahan. Wow. They would pay 12,000 rupees and take the perfume from that shop. This happens very, very often. And especially in Old Delhi, this happens a lot. This happens a lot. Okay. हमारे अमेरिकन्स भी हमारे एक्सेंट का मजाक उड़ाते होंगे, बिल्कुल बहुत मजाक उड़ाते हैं. So this is what happens, guys. This happens a lot, but the point is that now the foreigner has come to Delhi, okay, and the state is also Delhi. Whatever foreigner will buy from Delhi, it will be added, GST will be levied on it, okay. Now the question is, which GST is to be levied? IGST is to be levied, or CGST and SGST is to be levied. Now, please remember, CGST goes to the credit of central government, SGST goes to the credit of state government. What should be levied? IGST should be levied or CGST should be levied? Guys, the answer is IGST should be levied because it is to be considered as interstate sale. Sir, why do we want IGST to be levied? Guys, the reason is very simple. The foreigner, whenever he is leaving India and whenever he shows all the bills of the things that he has purchased from India, the entire GST component is returned to him. This is the policy which Government of India follows to promote tourism in the country. Whatever element or whatever goods are purchased by foreigners in India, soon as the foreigner approaches the airport, at the airport, if the foreigner shows the receipt of the things which he bought, his entire GST is refunded to him. Therefore, instead of splitting GST into two parts, it is charged only in one part so that refund becomes easy. Refund becomes easy. And guys, this not only happens to the foreigners. Even if we want to go to Australia, suppose I go to Australia, or suppose I go to United States of America, okay, I want to have a vacation. So when you will be giving your exams in the month of July, I will be on a vacation of 15-20 days. I will go to United States of America. You give your exams. I will be on a vacation on United States of America. I purchase some things from United States of America. Of course, the local GST law will be applicable and I will be subject to indirect taxation. Soon as I come to the airport for coming to India, if I show the bills to the airport authorities, they will refund all the GST to me, which I have paid to the shopkeepers. This is a policy which is followed by almost all countries of the world. So for ease of returning the money, refunding the money, IGST is levied, and this sale is termed as interstate sale. Although, guys, the Itr perfume Shopkeeper, location of supplier is Delhi. Place of supply is also Delhi because the perfume is being sold in Delhi, Chandni Chowk. Place of supply, Delhi. Location of supplier, Delhi. Even then, the sale will be termed as interstate supply. And what will be levied? IGST will be levied on this. So this is a special case of tourist being coming to India. Any supply made to tourists will be termed as interstate supply. So if you got the answer, if you got the concept correct, then guys, please write in the chat box, yes. NPO wale kaise jayenge US? Yes, very good question. Guys, as you know, we charge very minimal fees from students. So we are a non-profit making organization. We don't make a lot of profits. You know that. This is just an example that I'm giving you. That's true. How can we go to US? That's very true. Nalak. So did you understand the concept? Please write in the chat box. Yes. ब्लैक मनी बनाते हैं सर, शायद उनसे यूएसए घूमने जाएंगे और उसे वाइट करने के लिए एनपीओ का यूज करते हैं। इतने नालायक बच्चे हैं, कुछ भी लिखते हैं चैट बॉक्स में। Yes, you got the concept? Yes, guys. All right. So center and state will simultaneously levy GST on every supply of goods or services, or both, which takes place within a state or union territory. So if there is an intra-state supply, then Government of India and state and union both will levy tax. If the goods and services are supplied within the state, then both central government and state government gets the right to collect the tax. So both of them will collect the tax. In this particular case, both central government and state government will collect the tax, which is CGST and SGST in case of intra-state sale, when the sale happens within the same state. Now let us see what is interstate sale. Interstate sale happens when location of the supplier and place of supply are in two different states or two different union territories, or one state and one union territory. So whenever location of supplier and place of supplier in two different areas, then guys, it is a subject matter of interstate sale. Shall be treated as supply of goods and services in course of interstate trade of commerce. Supply of goods and services imported or exported outside the territory of India is treated as interstate supply. Now guys, obviously anything which goes out of India is treated as interstate supply. Anything which comes inside India, it will be treated as interstate supply always. Import of goods, interstate supply. Export of goods, interstate supply. Both of these are interstate supplies. When the supply is located in India and place of supply is outside India, or vice versa. Supply of goods and services by special economic zone developer or special economic zone unit. This is also always treated as interstate supply. And yes, guys, if you would remember, guys, the export sales are also known as one more word which is used for export sales. Please write in the chat box. Export of goods. What is another name of export of goods? Export supply. What is another name for export of goods? Nalayak, damad supply. It's not damad supply. Yes, Suyash. Yes, Uday Sahu. Very good answer. It is zero rated supply, because we don't charge any GST on any goods which are exported out of India, because it gets us foreign exchange. Very good. And yes, popularly, I have termed this particular export sales as damad sales. Damad sales. It's just like when the son-in-law goes to his father-in-law's place, mother-in-law's place, then he's treated superbly. All the best food is prepared for him, okay? And it is ensured that all his comfort is up to the mark, and he's at a comfortable place, he's at a comfortable location, so he's taken care of. Similarly, India takes care of its exports, because exports bring valuable foreign currency into India. So exports are exempt from GST. So this is known as zero rated sale. Just like, Damaji visits our home, and there's a very popular song, guys. दामाद जी अंगना में पधारे, दामाद जी लागे सबको प्यारे, दामाद जी अंगना में पधारे. Similarly, guys, Exports, everyone loves exports. Everyone loves exports. So all the government officials, all the government of India, government of every country loves exports. So they have termed export supplies as zero rated supply. In the subsequent chapters, guys, will be starting the export sales in great detail, zero rated sale at great detail. Center will levy IGST. So on every interstate supply, IGST is levied, which is integrated goods and services tax. This is the definition of intra and interstate supply. Now, this is a summary given for this differentiation, which actually you can go through by yourself. Okay, sir, got it. And now we come on to our main concept. We have said the categories of supply, guys. Now let's come on to our main concept. And the main concept is section number 7, supply. Section number 7, supply. So, guys, if you understood the meaning of interstate supply and intrastate supply, please write yes in the chat box. Yes. Sai Luthra Singh once more. This class is not a GST class. It is a singing competition class, and I am the entertainer. So I will entertain you, okay? And then I will sing all the songs. So, let's do one thing, okay? After we finish the entire GST syllabus, then we will keep one class where I will be only singing songs for all of you. Manzoor hai? Done? Okay, all right. Now, guys, let's start a very, 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 very important section of our syllabus, which is section 7. What do you mean by supply? Because supply is the charging section and supply is the event when taxability happens. Supply is the taxable event, the trigger point where GST is applied. So we need to understand, what do you mean by supply? What is the meaning of supply as per section 7? This is our next endeavor. This is our next concept. So let's start the concept of supply. What do you mean by supply? So, guys, section 7 is divided into two parts, section 7.1 and section 7.2. Section 7.1 contains the inclusions in tax, what inclusions in word supply, what all are included in supply, that is contained in section 7.1, and what is excluded from supply, what is left over from the definition of supply, what is not supply, that is given in section 7.2. So section 7.1, inclusions of supply, section 7.2, exclusions of supply. Now, there's one very important concept linked with this word, includes. Guys, whenever a section is defining something, it may use either of the two words. Word number 1, includes. Word number 2, means. What is word number 2? Means. What is word number 1? Includes. Includes means it's an inclusive definition, which means that apart from these cases, anything else can be included in the definition which is similar to these things. This is an inclusive definition. However, if it is written as means means it's an exhaustive definition. Apart from the elements covered over here, nothing else can come in this particular definition. So this definition of supply is an inclusive definition, which means that apart from these, any other similar context transaction can also be included in the definition of supply. That is a very important thing which is to be noted by you. From an exam standpoint, it's not important because examiner will not ask you this, but from your general understanding of law, it is very, very important. Okay. So now let's start section 7, subsection 1. We need to study definition of supply. Sir, why do we need to study definition of supply? Because we need to know when is GST levied. GST is levied when there is a supply. So we need to understand what is the definition of supply. If the transaction which we are doing is covered under this definition, then GST will be applicable on us. If it is not covered under this definition, GST will not be applicable on us. That is the importance of understanding this concept called supply. So let's start section number 7, which is supply. Okay, so section 7.1 is divided into 3 clauses. Clause 1, section 7.1a, section 7.1b, section 7.1c. Section 7.1a, section 7.1b, section 7.1c. All 3 of them are trying to define what do you mean by supply. Supply of goods and services. All three of them are trying to define what do you mean by supply. Now, one very important thing which I want to highlight to all of you. Section 71A and 71B contains the transactions which are done for a consideration. They are not done for free. Section 71A and 71B includes those transactions or those supply which are done against a consideration. So some consideration has been received for these supplies. They are not done for free. If they're done for free, then they will not be included in 71 and 7A. 71B and 71A includes only those transactions which are done for a consideration, not for free. But 71C contains those four cases where even if the transaction is done without consideration, it will be considered as supply. It will be considered as supply even if it is done without a consideration. Now, this is a starking difference between 71A, B, and C. 71A and B, with consideration, the transaction should happen. And 71C, even if without consideration the transaction happen, no problem, GST will be levied. But sir, how will GST be levied when it is free of cost transaction? What is the value that we are going to take for free of cost transaction? Guys, that we will be deliberating in our next lecture, not now. GST will be levied. How will it be levied? That will be deliberating shortly. So first difference between 71A, 71B, 71C, the first difference between these three clauses are that A and B are for consideration and C is without consideration. This is a very important difference which is existing between 71A, B and C. Okay. Now let's start 71A. What is consideration? Consideration means something that is given in return, usually money. So I go to I go to a car BMW shop owner and I give him money and I purchase BMW. Or I go to Mercedes store and I buy Mercedes. Although we are a low profit organization, but still, assuming hypothetically, I purchase my a Mercedes, I pay money to them. That is consideration. So that is consideration. Okay. Yes, Sailuthra is asking 71A is kind and cash both. Yes, kind and cash both. Yes, I'm just coming to these facts, guys. Don't worry. I'm coming to these facts. Okay. So let's start with 71A. What is the definition of supply according to 71A? So guys, 71A has some parameters. Only if you fulfill those parameters, you will be covered under the definition of supply. Let us read what are those parameters. So 71A contains all form of supplies. All form of supplies which are there, they are contained by 71A. Sir, what do you mean by all form of supplies? I'll show you what is the meaning of all form of supplies. So guys, all form of supplies means, here's the definition of all form of supplies. All form of supply means sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, disposal. All these are termed as supplies. So if you're taking some goods on rental, it is also a supply. If you're taking some good on barter or exchange, it is also a supply. If you're actually transferring it or selling it to someone, that is also a supply. So section 71 includes all forms of supply. All possible forms of supply are included in 71A. So the first condition is that all forms of supply are eligible for GST under section 71A. All forms of supply are included, whether it is supply, whether it is rent, whether it is barter, whether it is exchange, everything is included in 71A. We will not say that only when you sell a good, then it is supplied. No. Even if you give the good on rent, that is also supply under the GST Act. Even if you go to give it on license means right to use, royalties received by you. Like, software manufacturers don't give you the software original copy. They give you license to operate that software. So Microsoft Office that you are using, Bill Gates has not given you the software. He's just given you the license to use the software. Again, is that GST? Yes, it is eligible for GST. It is supply. So all forms of supply are included in section 71A. Condition number 2. Supply which is made or agreed to be made. Oh, There are two words which is included in 7(1)(a). Supply which is made or agreed to be made. Made means where supply has taken place, and agreed to be made means the supply will take place in near future. So guys, many times what happens is, I go to a place called Kirti Nagar. There's a Kirti Nagar place which is very famous for its furniture. Okay. No, I'm not going to Rajasthan this time. I'm going to Kirti Nagar to buy a dining table. Okay. I ask the manufacturer, how much is this dining table for? He tells me this is for 30,000 rupees. I say, okay, please make one for me. I will come after 2 weeks and collect the dining table from here. He tells me that, sir, you need to pay some advance. I pay 10,000 rupees as advance to that particular person. Now the question is, the goods has not been transferred. There's no transfer which has happened in the goods, but it has been agreed to be transferred. It has been agreed to be transferred, which is वादा. जो वादा किया वो निभाना पड़ेगा, रोके जमाना चाहे रोके खुदाई तुमको आना पड़ेगा. So it is vada. Even if you do vada and you pay some advance, on that advance also GST is leviable. Yes, I will telling you certain exceptions, but as of now, please understand the basic concept. Even if you give some advance and you make a promise that supply will happen, even then GST is applicable. So when the supply is made or it is agreed to be made, either of the two conditions are satisfied, then GST will be applicable. Okay guys, आप मुंबई आ सकते हैं. साक्षी सिंह, आप मुंबई आ सकते हैं. बहुत अच्छा गाते हैं आप, मुंबई आ सकते हैं. मगर मैं तो पढ़ने आया था, गाना सुनने थोड़ी. काजू सिंह कह रहा है, अरे हाँ भाई हाँ, थोड़ा थोड़ा पढ़ने के बीच में गाना सुनना भी हेल्दी होता है. ठीक है, ऐसा कुछ बात नहीं है. ओके, सो अग्री टू बी मेड और मेड, both are covered under the term of supply. Now guys, I'll take one more example. You have to tell me whether it will come under the definition of supply or not. Okay, I went to Kirti Nagar and I went to that shop and I said, I like this dining table, I want to buy it, please make it, and I will take it after 2 weeks. Now that person was a known person to me because I have been purchasing goods from that particular shop for many years now. So he's a known person to me. So he tells me that, sir, you need not pay any advance. Don't pay any advance. When you come at the at that time after 2 weeks, then you take give the full payment and then you take your dining table. Now you have to tell me whether in this case GST will be leviable or not. Whether in this case GST will be leviable or not, you have to tell me. I have not given any advance to that particular person. I have not given any advance to that particular person. Will GST be leviable or not? लैग भाई मेरी तरफ से तो कोई लैग नहीं है, मेरा नेटवर्क फुल आ रहा है, मैंने चेक किया अभी. प्लीज कंफर्म इफ देयर इज लैग, इफ एनीवन एल्स इज फीलिंग सम लैग. Perfect. So guys, when there is no consideration, then there is no question of GST. If the consideration is there when you pay the money, then GST will be levied. So although there is an agreement which is made, but since there is no consideration at that point in time, there's no advance which is given, there is no question of GST in this case. Perfect answer by all of you. Brilliant guys. You will get full marks in GST. Very good. And the last and most important concept is, you have to make the supply for business purpose. You have to make this supply for business purpose. If you're not doing it for business purpose, 7(1)(a) is not applicable on you. If you're not making it for business purpose, 7(1)(a) is not applicable on you. Yes, you have to do this transaction, you have to do this supply on business purpose. For business purpose, you have to make this supply. If you fulfill these 4 conditions, then you are eligible to GST, liable to GST under section 7(1)(a). All the 4 conditions are to be fulfilled. Now you will be asking me, sir, what is this business purpose and what are the situations when there is some personal purpose also? So guys, I'll give you a very simple example. Okay, can you see this ring in my finger? I don't know whether it is visible or yes, it is visible. Can you see this ring on my finger? Yes, sir. There's a ring on your finger. And it's a beautiful ring. So guys, this ring, when I purchase this ring from the jeweler is the supplier. I'm the recipient. Is jeweler supplying this particular ring for business purpose? Answer is yes. So will jeweler apply GST under section 71A on this ring? Answer is yes. The jeweler will apply GST under section 71A on this ring for business purpose. Yes, answer is yes. Jeweler will apply GST on this particular ring. So it is business purpose. Guys, after a few years, I sell this ring back to the jeweler. I tell him, see jeweler, I don't want this ring anymore. You take back this ring and give me some other ring and tell me what is the incremental amount. I will pay it. You please take this ring back to me. I don't want this ring now. Okay. Now, when I sell this ring back to my jeweler, please tell me whether I am the supplier and whether the supplier is selling this ring for business purpose or personal purpose. It is for personal purpose, because I am not in the business of jewelry. I am not in the business of producing gold rings. Yes, I am not. So it is for personal purpose. So would I be eligible to pay GST? Answer is no. GST will not be levied on this transaction when I am an individual who's selling a ring to a jeweler for non-business purpose or personal purpose. Then I will not be paying GST on this part. So that is the minor difference between business purpose and personal purpose. Business purpose is only eligible for GST under section 71A. Personal purpose is not eligible for GST under section 71A. That is the moot point of consideration over here. If you understood this concept well, please write a yes in the chat box. And I am feeling so weak. Oh, energies are down. First of all, please write in the chat box yes, okay. And then I'm feeling very weak. Oh, I want some energy. I want some energy drink. Can you please supply some energy drink to me? Your energy drink that you can supply is thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Yes, your thumbs up is my energy drink. Please supply some thumbs up to me. And yes, if you give me thumbs up, I'll be charged with energy again and we'll be starting with the marathon again. Kalyani says thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, sir. Tanmay Sharma offers me some beer and some alcohol. I don't drink alcohol. No, not at all. Guru Aparajita, thumbs up. Nikhil Gupta, thumbs up. Lavanya gives me petrol tankers. Very good. Zainab gives me blood. लो कुपोषण का शिकार का इलाज. Gold wala example once again explain. Okay, I will explain gold wala example once again. Okay, I'll explain that again. Rajveer says thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Very good, guys. Very good. Okay, I'll explain gold wala example once again. Okay, when I purchase gold jewelry from a jeweler is the supplier. He supply me gold jewelry on business purpose. It's his business to supply gold jewelry. So GST will be levied on that particular transaction. But if I sell my gold jewelry to the jeweler, guys, I'm the supplier in this case, but it is not my business to sell gold jewelry. I'm just doing it as a one-off transaction, and it's a personal transaction. And since it's a personal purpose transaction, it does not satisfy the fourth condition of section 71A. Therefore, GST will not be levied on that particular transaction. When you, for your personal purpose, you sell your goods, you sell your furniture, sell your AC, you sell your refrigerator, you sell your jewelry, GST is not leviable on you, even when it is a supply, even when consideration is there, even when the supply is made. Then also, since it is not business purpose, GST is not applicable on these transactions. You please remember, you sell furniture to someone, you sell your personal belongings to someone as a one-off transaction, GST will not be applicable on you. That is the moot point of consideration that I've told you. Okay, got it. Sir, once imagine who all are listening your classes will score rank in this attempt. Amazing. Who all are listening to these classes, all of you must obtain ranks, and that will be the biggest game changer for me. It will be the biggest energy source. It will be the biggest motivation source for me. So yes, guys, if you attain a rank, it will be a proud moment for me. Amazing thought. सर फ्लाइट में सेल किस टाइप का सप्लाई होगा? फ्लाइट में सेल, ओके. So if you are in a flight, then you know the location of supplier and place of supply is determined in a very different way. Okay, I'm digressing from the topic for 2 minutes, okay, but I would like to explain this because it's a very interesting topic, okay. Let me tell you guys, okay. So you know, a flight is boarding from Delhi. It will go till Jaipur, okay. The flight is boarding from Delhi and is boarding till Jaipur. This is my flight. It looks like fish, but it is not fish. It is my flight. This is my flight, which is boarding from Delhi. It is flying till Jaipur. It will go till Jaipur, okay? It will land on Jaipur. This is my Delhi flight, which is boarding from Jaipur, going to Delhi, boarding from Delhi, going to Jaipur. Now, if you are a passenger in this flight, it will be crossing certain states. It will be crossing Delhi. It will be crossing Haryana. Suppose it is also crossing UP, okay? It is crossing several states. You order some food on the flight. Then guys, in this case, when you order some food on the flight, then you know the location of supplier is of course Delhi, because the food was loaded in the flight in Delhi. So location of supplier is Delhi. The question is, what will be the place of supply? What will be the place of supply? Will it be the location where the sale happened? So if you know this flight was over Madhya Pradesh, then will it be Madhya Pradesh? Or when this flight was over, say Haryana, will it be Haryana? What will be the place of supply? The answer is, the place of supply is not determined as the place where the flight was flying, but it is determined when the food was loaded into the aeroplane. So food was loaded at Delhi. So place of supply is Delhi. Place of supply is Delhi in that case. Okay. I'm digressing from the topic, but this is the answer to Rajveer's question. Okay, guys, understood section 7.1a. Let's read the section 7.1a in our definition. 7.1a. Please read. All forms of supply, goods and services of both such as sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, disposal, made or agreed to be made for a consideration by a person in the course of furtherance of business is known as supply. Section 7.1a. It's a flying fish. Okay, section 7.1a. Okay, now let's move on to section 7.1b. I will take up section 7.1a in a little while. Section 7.1b. Section 7.1b is specifically catering to import of services. Whenever services are imported from a foreign country to India, then it is eligible for GST under section 7.1b. Again, consideration is mandatory. You need to have a consideration for sure, okay? But there's a big difference between 7.1a and 7.1b. 7.1b permits business purpose or other purpose also, which means even if it is for personal purpose, then also GST is leviable in this particular case. So import of services for personal purpose is also eligible for GST. Now, sir, this is a little confusing. Sir, when personal purpose was excluded from here, why personal purpose is not excluded from here? What is the reason, sir? Moreover, why only import of services is covered under 7.1b? Why not goods? It should have been import of goods or services. Why only services, sir? Where is goods in this particular example? Goods is not there in this particular example, sir. Why? Goods should also have been there in this particular section. That is your question which is coming in your mind. Let me clarify the question answer to you. Okay. Let me clarify the answer to you. If you already know the answer, please write in the chat box. I'll give you brownie points. Okay. Uday's answer is perfect. Zainab's answer is perfect. Yeah, why am I taking this marathon? I'm not taking this marathon. I'm quitting this marathon. When you know everything, why should I take this marathon? You know everything. You're super. Why don't you take this marathon? Huh? Before even answering the question, you already answered the question. Brilliant, guys. Brilliant. Okay. Brilliant. Okay. I'm talking about imported goods and I'm talking about imported services. I'm talking about two things, imported goods and I'm talking about imported services. Now, guys, please understand. For imported goods, custom duty is applicable. GST we bifurcate into two parts: personal purpose, business purpose. If there is business purpose, then GST is applicable. If it is personal purpose, GST is not applicable according to section 71A. According to section 71A, custom duty is always applicable, and we'll be reading custom duty at the end of GST session. GST, if it is for business purpose, applicable. If it is for personal purpose or other purpose, not applicable. Come to imported services. Custom duty, not applicable, because imported services is governed by the loading and loading of goods. Now goods are not there, so services are there. So custom duty, not applicable. Now talking about GST, personal purpose, business purpose. Now talking about GST, guys, GST in case of import of services, when the services are imported, then GST for personal purpose is eligible. If GST is for business purpose, it is again eligible. If GST for business purpose, GST will be levied. If it's for personal purpose, then also GST will be levied. Now, why this change? This change is because if we do not put GST on personal purpose, then guys, if you import anything for personal purpose, it will neither be excisable to custom duty nor for GST. But in case of goods, even if it is imported for personal purpose, then at least custom duty is leviable on it. In case of goods, even when goods are imported for personal purpose, then custom duty is leviable on it. But in case of services, if services is imported for personal purpose, then custom duty is not leviable on it. And if we don't include this personal purpose in any of the section, we have included in section 71B, then the import of services which are done for personal purpose will remain out of GST net, will remain out of indirect tax net. That is the problem. So import of services, since it is not eligible for custom duty, it is eligible for even if it's for personal purpose, it is eligible for GST. Because goods any which ways, even if they are personal, then they will be eligible for custom duty, indirect taxes levied on those goods, even if they are for personal purpose. But services, custom duty not applicable, therefore personal purpose services will not be eligible for GST. Therefore no tax will be levied on imported services. Therefore a specific section was introduced in the GST regime, which is 71B, which said import of services, whether for personal purpose or for business purpose, will be eligible for GST. That is the reason why personal purpose is specified under import of services, because if this was not specified, then the entire mechanism GST would have failed in case of personal purposes imported services, as compared to personal purposes goods. Personal purpose goods is eligible for custom duty. That is the reason. Okay. Yes, sir. Perfect answer. So yes, Zainab's answer is so perfect. गवर्नमेंट को अच्छा नहीं लग रहा था, सर्विसेज पर कुछ लग नहीं रहा था, इसलिए जीएसटी लगा दिया. अब गवर्नमेंट बहुत खुश है. Perfect answer, guys. So what is 71B? Guys, what is 71B? 71B is import of services with a consideration, with or without business purpose. Whether for business purpose or without any business purpose, even for personal purpose, import of services is eligible for the definition of supply. And that is how 71B is worded. Now let us come on to the book and read this definition. Import of services for a consideration, whether or not in course of furtherance or business. Import of services is always eligible for GST, whether it is for furtherance of business or not. Okay, sir, got it. Yes. Okay. Now, 7(1)AA. 7(1)AA, a very important clause. 7(1)AA. The activities or transactions by a person other than an individual to its members or constituents or vice versa for cash or deferred payment or other valuable consideration. Okay, so guys, we will come on this definition in a short while. First, let us read these parts. Okay, this part is very, very important, which I skipped. Okay, so section 7(1)A, supply should be of goods and services. Money or securities is excluded from definition of supply, so we will not consider supply of money as supply of goods, because money is not goods, and even securities, shares, debentures will be excluded from the definition of supply. Supply includes all form of supply. All form supplies we have already discussed. Okay, then so the supply includes supply of goods and services agreed to be made. Agreed to be made means you are committing. There is a promise which is there that you will supply the goods in future. For example, if Mr. X receives advance payment, then advance payment is eligible for a GST. Now, very, very important. Please write over here. Very, very important. Okay. However, as per notification number 66 of 2017, no GST is payable on advances received against supply of goods. So if there's supply of goods and advances is given for supply of goods, then no GST is applicable in that particular case by way of a special notification. However, in case of services, if there's supply of services, then guys, even advance is eligible for GST. Even advance is eligible for GST for supply of services. Now, this is a very important point that you should note and you should remember, because it is very relevant from an exam standpoint. Okay, very, very relevant from an exam standpoint. Okay, so services advance, yes, eligible for GST. Goods advance, not eligible for GST. Now let's see who will solve illustration number 1. Let's see who will solve illustration number 1. Mr. A issued invoice to Mr. B on 15 December 2022, gave advance for supplies in the month of September 2022. So there was some advance which was given in the month of September 22, and the invoice was actually raised in the month of December 22. Comment when the GST is payable under the following situation. In case of supply of goods, guys, the entire GST will be payable on the invoice raising date, which is 15 December 2022. In case of supply of services, the GST will be paid partly in September 2022 to the extent of advance, and partly in December 22 to the amount of balance amount. Okay, so the GST will be split into two parts. It will be recovered in two parts in the second case. Perfect answer. Yes, and this is my point. Okay, I scored 2 points, you scored 0. I scored 2 points, you scored 0. Now we'll score each other also. Okay, let's see who wins. Okay, whether you win or I win, we'll see it. देखें जरा किसमें कितना है दम, बच के रखना कदम. Okay, next is supply should be made for a consideration, that is a quid pro quo. Consideration may be money or something else. Even if you pay something else, then it will also consider as consideration. Okay, sir. Okay, if consideration may be monetary or non-monetary, consideration can be monetary or non-monetary. So inducement of supply of goods, any payment made for inducement of supply of goods by recipient or other person, it shall not be included. It should not include any subsidy given by central government or state government. Very, very important, guys. Inducement of supply of goods. So when the consideration is inducement of supply of goods, at that point in time, guys, it is considered as supply of goods, even in a case where consideration is not there. Now, I'll give you a very simple example. You bought GST lectures from me, and you told me, sir, your GST lectures are superb. You teach superbly well. So, sir, there is one friend of mine who wants to purchase the GST lectures from you. Sir, can he purchase GST lectures from you? मैंने कहा, yes, you can purchase GST lecture from me. You tell me, that's what is my benefit? I am referring that person to you. What is my benefit? Then I ask you, what do you want? You tell me, sir, give me some commission, give me some money. I said, no, I will not give you money. You are too young to take money. What I can offer you is, I can give you my next classes free of cost. My final classes free of cost. I will give you those classes free of cost. Okay, you don't pay money for my final classes. I give you this offer. So guys, the final classes which I have sold to you, there is no consideration which I have taken from you. But is there an implied consideration in it? Yes, there is an implied consideration in it. It is inducement of supply of goods. There's an implied condition that, you work for me, you gather students for me, and I will give you my classes free of cost. There's an implied consideration, non-monetary consideration in that particular transaction also. So that will be eligible for GST. Consideration will be paid in that case also. So inducement of supply of goods is eligible for consideration. One more thing, guys. It shall not include any subsidy given by central government or state government. So if central government and state government are giving you some subsidy, then that shall be excluded while computing the value for GST. So for example, I purchased, some machinery. Machinery costed me 50 lakh rupees. Government told me that, okay, don't pay 50 lakh, pay only 40 lakh. Don't pay 50 lakh. Then naturally, guys, the GST will be levied only on the 40 lakh component. 10 lakh component GST will not be levied. Then monetary value of any act or forbearance not to do something. So to do something for you or for not to do something for you, then also there is inducement of supply even when consideration is not there. Again, guys, just like in my earlier example, I told you that do something for me and take my final classes for fee. Now I'm telling you, don't do something so that my final classes will be given to you. And I'll give you an example. Okay, I'll give you an example. So, guys, Ujjal went to a very famous Bengali restaurant in Bengal, and he loves Bengali food, and he also loves non-vegetarian Bengali food. So when he went to the hotel and he ordered for Begun Bhaja. Begun Bhaja is a very superb, delicious, dish of Kolkata. So he orders Begun Bhaja, and when Begun Bhaja comes, there is a plastic in Begun Bhaja. So soon as Ujjal picks it up and eats it, the plastic is crushed in his teeth. He pulls out the plastic and shows it to the manager. And he tells the manager, we will give you bad rating on Google. We will give you bad rating on TripAdvisor. We will give you bad rating everywhere. We will give you bad rating everywhere. Ujjal is terrorizing the manager. The manager saying, no, sir, please don't give us bad rating. I will give you offer for next month, 1 month. You can come along with your family, along with your teachers who are in Delhi. You call them and you take us free meal. You take free meal from us. So this is the act of not doing something against supply. That is also included under consideration. That is also included under consideration. So act of not doing something is also included under consideration. Act of doing something is also included under the definition of consideration. Got it, sir? Yes, guys. All right, now let's come on to AA clause. AA clause, very, very important clause, guys. AA clause, okay. Now I'll first explain the AA clause to you and then I will come on to the theoretical portion. Yes, guys. Okay. So, guys, there are two companies. Tata Telecommunication. There are two companies. First one is Tata Telecommunication, and the second one is Reliance Jio. Both of them enters into a joint venture to start a internet company, internet service provider company, which is a joint venture between Tata and Reliance. It's an hypothetical situation, but both of them incorporates a company, a new company, or a new AOP, Association of Person. Have you heard of AOP? Yes, sir. So AOP is in the internet service provider company or internet service provider organization, which is a joint venture between Tata and Reliance. Tatas have committed that they will transfer their routers, satellites to the internet service provider company joint venture. Reliance has committed that they will transfer their TV towers, internet towers, and the related infrastructure, because Jio is very, very heavy on infrastructure. They will transfer the infrastructure to the joint venture so that joint venture can provide internet services very well. Now, when it is said that, Reliance has transferred it's something to internet service provider, Tata Telecommunication has transferred something to internet service provider. When it is said that, guys, at that point in time, the question arises whether GST will be leviable on these two transfers or not. You please answer in the chat box. Let's see who is correct. Because, guys, both Tata Telecommunication, Reliance, and ISP are one and the same thing. They are the members of this AOP. They are the members of this AOP. They are both the same persons. Then will the goods which are transferred from here to here, goods which are transferred from here to here, will they be eligible for GST or not? Answer should be yes or no, whether they are eligible for GST or not. Yes, absolutely. Very good. It is categorized as supply, despite of the fact that this entire transaction is between two related parties. It is between two parties which are absolutely linked to each other. Both of them are almost the same. Even then, the transaction is eligible for GST. And to clarify this doubt, Section AA was introduced. The activities or transaction by person or other than individual to its members or constituents or vice versa for cash deferred payment or other valuable consideration. This is also an element of supply. So yes, these were the three most important elements of supply, guys. Section 71A, 71B, and 71AA. The three most important elements of supply: 71, 71AA, 71B. So yes, we have covered up till this part in this particular lecture. Guys, in the next session, we'll be covering with 71C and the exclusions to the definition of supply, which is 7.2. This will be covering in the next part. But guys, for you, it is a homework. Please read through these definitions very well, okay? And this is Institute Study Mat definitions and Institute Study Mat content. So you'll find it in Institute Study Mat. Open your Institute Study Mat, CMA Institute Study Mat. You'll find everything over there. You need not buy these PDFs or take these PDFs from me. It is there in the study mat of the institute. Okay, so we'll be meeting in the next session, guys, with more sections of GST levy and collection. Till that time, all the very best. And before we leave, please write in the chat box, how is the Josh to clear your examination, to get an all India rank and to score 70 plus marks in DT and IDT? How's the Josh, guys? Yes, very high. Good night, all the best, and let's see you all in the next session. All the very best and happy studying. Bye bye.